Welcome to Cloud Institution. Today, we are going to discuss Azure Question and Answers Part 4. So let's move on to first question. Your company has a three virtual machine that are included in the availability set. You try to resize one of the VM, which returns an allocation failure message. It is imperative that the VM is resized. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should only stop one of the VM. Option B, you should stop two of the VM. Option C, you should stop all three VMs. Option D, you should remove the necessary VM from the availability set. Find the correct answer. So the answer is option C. You should stop all three VM because stopping one or two VM won't be help because the availability set remains in the same cluster. Removing a VM from the availability set is not a straightforward solution and it could impact redundancy. So let's move on to second question. You have an Azure virtual machine that has a single data disk. You have been tasked with attaching this data disk to another Azure VM. You need to make sure your strategy allows for the virtual machine to be offline for the least amount of time possible. Which of the following is the action you should take first? Option A should stop the VM that includes the data disk. Option B stop the VM that the data disk must be attached to. Option C detach the data disk. Option D delete the VM that includes the data disk. Find the correct answer. So the answer is option C, detach the data disk, because this ensures minimal downtime and allows for a smooth transition to the new VM. So let's move on to third question. Your company has an Azure subscription. You need to deploy a number of Azure virtual machines using Azure Resource Manager template. You have been informed that VM will be included in a single availability set. You are required to make sure that ARM template you configure allow for many VM as possible to remain accessible in the event of fabric failure of maintenance. Which of the following is the value you should configure for the platform fault domain in count property? Option A 10, option B 30, option C minimum value, option D maximum value. Find the correct answer. So the answer is maximum value. This ensures highest availability during hardware of maintenance failure. So let's move on to fourth question. Your company has a Azure subscription. You need to deploy a number of Azure virtual machines using Azure Resource Manager template. You have been informed that VM will be included in a single availability set. You are required to make sure that ARM template you configure allow for many VM as possible to remain accessible in the event of fabric failure of maintenance. Which of the following is the value that you should configure for the platform update domain count property? Option A 10, option B 20, option C 30, and option D 40. Find the correct answer. So the answer is option B 20 because this ensures that the updates occurs in a smaller batches and minimizing downtime. So let's move on to fifth question. Your company has an Azure Active Directory tenant that is configured for hybrid coextensions with the on-premises Active Directory domain. The on-premises virtual environment consists of virtual machine running on a Windows Server 2012 R2 Hyper-V host server. You have created some PowerShell script to automate the configuration of newly created VM. You plan to create server new VMs. You need a solution that ensures the scripts are running on the new VM. Which of the following is the best solution? Option A. Configure a setup complete.cmd batch file in the winter percentage / setup / script directory. Option B. Configuring a group policy object to run the script as logon script. Option C, configure a group policy object to run the script as a startup scripts. Option D, place the scripts in a new virtual hardware disk. Find the correct answer. So the answer is option A, configure a setup complete.cmd batch file in D, because this ensures that scripts execute immediately after Windows setup, making it the best solution for automating VM configuration.